Have you been stuck lifting the same weight and same reps for months? That's called a strength plateau. It's pretty annoying, but it happens to everyone, including myself. The good news is that you can break through and still keep getting stronger and building more muscle. Let's go ahead and talk about how. Yo, what's up everybody? I'm Cyrus, I'm a natural lifter. I've been lifting for 15 years now and I've been researching this stuff for over a decade. Now I take all that experience and everything I learned and I teach skinny, natty guys how to build drug-free muscle, just like yourself, just like myself and all the clients I teach. So, strength plateaus. Like I said, it happens to everybody, but first off, let's talk about the signs of a plateau. First sign is that you've been stuck at the same weight for a good amount of time, maybe a few weeks, maybe even as long as a month, or maybe even as long as a couple months for some of you. So when I say same weight, that could be two different things. You might be thinking of one thing, but there's actually two different things. Same weight could be like how much you actually weigh. There's a good chance you've hit a plateau if you're not actually building up, like you're not getting heavier. If you're trying to build up strength and build up muscle, that is definitely a sign because you're not getting heavier. And typically, if you are building muscle, you should be starting to weigh more. Another example of your weight being stuck at the same weight is with any type of movement. So let's say your bench press has been stuck at 225 for a few weeks now and you just can't get it to go up. That is another sign of a plateau. Some other signs as well too are like reps. Maybe your reps don't go up. Maybe you're stuck at 2 plates and you just can't get past 10 reps no matter what you do. That's another sign of a plateau. Another common sign of a plateau that some of you guys, maybe even yourself, you don't always think about is that you're constantly feeling tired. You're constantly feeling tired, constantly feeling sore, or you're just not excited about lifting as you like you used to be. That's another sign of a plateau as well too. So those are all different signs of plateau. So kind of think and kind of brainstorm about which one resonates the most with you or which one you're probably experiencing the most. I've experienced all three and I know what all three feel like. And they do suck, but they're also exciting because that means that you have a new opportunity to figure out something new you can try in order to get through these plateaus. So when it comes to plateaus, there's really three different kinds. You have your body plateau, your mental plateau, and I would say like programming plateau. Body plateau typically means you just need more calories or maybe, you're not really optimized. Like, are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough water? Like I said, are you getting enough calories? Are you hitting your protein goals every single day? Are you stretching? Are you warming up? Are you stretching after your workouts? Are you doing any type of recovery? Like, are you massaging? Are you using like a massage gun? Are you rolling out on the foam roller? These are all different aspects of things that are related to your body that could be affecting your plateau. So before trying anything else, I would focus on fixing those things primarily. And those things go for like any plateau, really. Can go with the mental and the programming plateau as well too. So I'll say them one more time. Make sure you're hitting your calories every single day. Make sure you're hitting your protein every single day. 8 hours of sleep, 1 gallon of water. Do some stretching before and after your workout if you got time for it. If you don't got time at the gym, maybe try to incorporate some stretching at home, at the house while you watch TV or something like that. You can incorporate things like a foam roller, a massage gun. Those will help as well too. The next thing is a mind plateau or a mental plateau. You could call it that as well too. A lot of you guys experience this as well too. I have definitely been through this a couple of times myself, but over the years I've learned different ways to get past it, and now I'm going to talk about them with you guys. Nowadays I barely have a mind plateau. I'm pretty much always excited to go to the gym, and how I've managed to do that over the years is by increasing variety and decreasing boredom as much as possible all in the gym. So what do I mean by that? When I say increasing variety, it means I don't ever do an exercise I don't want to do in the gym unless I absolutely have to. So let me explain further. If I'm training chest today, which I actually am later today in a few hours, if I have bench press like written on my programming for the day and I show up to the gym and I don't want to bench press, I straight up just don't bench press. I will find a substitute exercise. And yes, bench press is on my training. It's part of my programming. But if I don't want to do it, I simply just don't do it. I'll go do something else. And some people might not agree with that, but personally, when it comes to me and my philosophy behind training is that training should be fun and it should be enjoyable. And that's the best way to make it sustainable for the long term for yourself. If you want to have fun in the gym, then you can't just be in there forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. Now, when I say forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do, I'm not talking about like showing up for the gym because Some of us don't want to go to the gym on certain days, but that's one thing you actually have to show up and do. I'm talking about like exercise selection and actually having fun while you're in the gym. If I don't want to squat today, I won't squat. I'll go do leg press. If I have leg press written in my programming and I don't want to do leg press, maybe I'll go do lunges with the barbell. If I don't want to do, I don't know, like lat machine pull down to train my back, and even though that's what's on my schedule, I'll substitute it out for like pull-ups. It's all about increasing the variety in the gym, just to make sure you're still having fun and doing exercises that you actually want to do. And at the end of the day, this is perfectly fine as long as you make sure that you're still implementing progressive overload in your training. So yes, it's okay to substitute exercises. Just make sure you're still tracking your lifts and getting stronger via reps, sets, reps, weights, decreasing your rest periods, or improving your form or technique for each and every single exercise, and you'll be perfectly fine. Real quick too, same thing goes for like sets and reps. If I've been doing like sets of like 4 to 6 on an exercise for the past few weeks and I'm getting bored with that, then maybe that's a sign that I need to switch it up, and I'll switch it up to like 8 to 12. Maybe I get bored with 8 to 12. Maybe I'll swap it for like 10 to 15 for an exercise. So you can see how you can still get results with these different exercises as well as different sets and reps. At the end of the day, if it might not be the most optimal and efficient thing, I would rather switch it up for the sake of losing the efficiency, just to make sure that I'm not bored and I'm still having fun in the gym. So that's one way to get past your mental plateau. Another thing that you could be experiencing is that you're just simply like not excited enough. And if you're not excited while you go to the gym, you're not having fun, you're not going to push that hard. So that's another thing too. Like you want to pick exercises that you actually enjoy, because you're going to have way more fun. You're going to push way harder in the gym. If you push harder, it's going to mean better performance, which is basically going to mean like better gains. Some tips for pushing it in the gym. Have a good playlist. If you need it, take pre-workout. If you need it, take a little bit of caffeine. Some natural things that have really, really helped me is like having a workout partner or working out as a group. Working out with a partner, like you can push yourself way harder. It's way more fun. You get to hang out, talk with your buddy. Plus, you also have a spotter, which is super cool too, because you can push really, really hard. And if you fail, your spotter can spot you. The next thing I want to talk about is like a program plateau. So this typically happens when you've been doing the same program for way too long. It is pretty common that if you bench press for a year straight, you're going to see a ton of gains, but eventually your progression is going to start to slow down. And when that happens, it might be time, like I said, with the mind plateau, it might be time to switch your exercise for something else. So if you've been seeing a ton of progress with your bench press, but then you notice, it starts to plateau, or the progression starts to slow down, maybe it's time to switch from a bench press to a dumbbell bench press. Or maybe it's time to switch from, progressing on bench press to progressing on incline bench press. So that could be a sign, or that could be something you can do as well too. If you're still hitting plateaus after switching the exercise, the next thing I would suggest is switching up the sets and reps. So like I had mentioned in the previous example, maybe you've been doing 4 to 6, or you've been doing like training 5x5 on the bench press. Maybe it's time to switch it up and do 4 sets of like 8 to 12. So these are all different things you can try. Basically, you want to experiment. Try for yourself, see what works best for you, because at the end of the day, we've all got different bodies, we've all got different preferences, we've all got different favorites when it comes to exercise selection. So try a few of these things and see what works best for you. The next thing I want to quickly talk about is deload weeks. I've made multiple videos on deload weeks, but I'll walk through them here real quick for you. A deload week is basically when you take a week off of lifting to let your body like fully get back to its like fully recovered state. I've experienced some of the best PRs of my lifetime by like taking a week off from the gym, which is kind of contradictory, because you might feel like, how can I get stronger by going to the gym less? When in reality, if you're watching this, you're probably a natural lifter just like myself. Us natty guys need way more time to recover compared to guys who are on gear can. And sometimes what you need to progress in your strength is actually take time off in order to actually let the stimulus that you've been sending to your body, sending to your muscles, actually give time to like build up muscle and strength. So real quick, different forms of deload weeks. You can straight up like skip the gym for a week straight. You could decrease the volume. So let's say you typically do 4 sets for every single exercise. Drop that in half. Maybe just do 2 sets. Then the other thing you can do is change up like the weights a little bit. So let's say for bench press, for example, you typically bench press 200 pounds. Maybe for this week, you only bench press 100 pounds. So you see how it's still a form of a deload week, but you're not straight up taking a week off. You're still going to be at the gym this week. You're just decreasing the volume or decreasing the weight. The next thing I want to talk about is progressive overload. Progressive overload is absolutely essential if you're a natural lifter. If you're not seeing strength and you're plateauing, or maybe you're not seeing gains as fast as you used to, make sure you're implementing progressive overload. So there's really 5 different forms of progressive overload. And the 5 that I teach are increasing the reps, increasing the weights, increasing the sets, decreasing the rest period between your sets, or improving your form and technique. Make sure you're doing at least one of those things every single time you go to the gym and focus on an exercise. So real quick, I'll give you an example. Say you bench press on Mondays, and today's Monday, and you typically bench press 2 plates for 10 reps. Next week, instead of just doing 2 plates for 10 reps again, which would be you being stagnant, not making any progress, try to add 1 more rep. So try to do 2 plates for 11 reps. So you see how you bumped it up. You got a little bit stronger. You did 1 extra rep. So that's progressive overload. Next thing is make sure you have a good diet. There's a good chance if you're watching this, you're a skinny dude, you're not really seeing a ton of gains, not seeing a ton of strength. And if you are plateauing, it could just be that you're not getting enough calories in. So maybe you've been seeing progress and you've been getting bigger, getting stronger, but now your progress is starting to slow down. That might just be a sign that you need to bump up your calories again to a new caloric surplus. So maybe bump it up another 100, another 200, another 300 calories. Give yourself 2 weeks at this new calorie intake for the next few weeks, and then reassess, see where you're at. If you got too much weight too fast, then you could probably tone it down to 200 calories or 100 calories. If you saw progress, then great, you can keep it there. If you still stay the same weight and you're not really seeing gains in the gym still, maybe bump it up another 100 to like 300 calories. So experiment, see what works best, give it a shot. So just to kind of close off myself, I've experienced plenty of plateaus, and using these different things that we talked about and incorporating these different things were all different ways that I broke through plateaus. Body plateaus, not seeing any strength, I upped my calories, upped my protein, got better sleep, made sure I was drinking water. Mental plateaus, boredom in the gym, just no excitement. I found new workout playlists, got better music. I picked new exercises to train, like stuff I've never tried before because that's fun and exciting. Or sometimes I switched up the sets and reps or got like a workout partner or something like that. Programming plateaus, I had to switch up exercises that I was no longer improving on. So in the past, I saw a lot of progress on my squat, but it started to slow down, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll switch it up and I'll do box squats for a few weeks. And that's stuff that I've actually done in the past, which helped me broke through actual plateaus. So at the end of the day, try one of those 3, 2 of those 3, or, go back, watch the video if you need to, try any of those, give them a shot. But at the end of the day, remember that plateaus happen to everybody. They happen to me, they happen to you. If you've never had them, they most likely will happen to you at some point in your career. Just remember, it's totally common, happens to everybody. The best thing you can do is figure out what you're doing wrong, figure out how to fix it, reassess, try some new things, and then give it a shot. Like, they're not a sign of failure. They're just a sign of progression slowing down. It's a sign that you need to figure out something you can fix. That way you can keep pushing your limits and you'll be fine. So that's it. Goodbye. See you later.